I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. About a week ago, I think, I did a video where I wrote out all the states by region, like New England and Mid-Atlantic and coastal. I don't remember even. It's been a week. But during that video, I forgot 2 states, and one of them was South Carolina. Well, South Carolina is coastal. You can tell because it's right here, southern. And I just forgot it, I think, because I wrote North Carolina and thought I'd written it. So I apologize to South Carolina. But you guys got a lot going for you. You got beaches, you got golf courses, you got islands, gardens. You'll be all right. But I forgot West Virginia. And that one kind of hurt because I love West Virginia. I go there a lot for fun. And I felt bad for forgetting it, to be honest. I will say it was a lot to remember all that. And I think it's a good exercise for your brain if you want to try to do it. But I thought today we could talk a little about West Virginia. And I wanted to start by reading a comment that was under that video. Don't worry, it's not that comment. This one, I don't know whether I should put names of people, honestly, I'm not sure. But I like this name. It's not Exiled Columbus. I thought that was funny. I love this comment so much. And as soon as I read it, I was like, oh no, how did I forget West Virginia? This person says, West by God, Virginia, my beloved home, is the northernmost southern state, the southernmost northern state, the westernmost eastern state, and the easternmost western state. It defies boundaries and wants legitimate state borders. I wasn't sure what that meant, to be honest. So I forgive you for failing to place it in a particular region. That's right, we're doing the regions. That was a word I was looking for. Otherwise, great video. So I thought that was interesting. So on our map here, this purple state, if you don't know, this, I'll try to outline it, but you guys know I'm not the best at that. Okay, it's going through this word right here. I don't know if you guys can read it. It says Appalachian Mountains. They go all the way up from Tennessee, all the way up, apparently all the way through into Maine. So here is West Virginia. I'll give it a good outline here. And see this little green bit coming in here? Maryland, sticking its little claws into West Virginia. I'm just kidding. I like Maryland. I have family there. All right. So West Virginia, this person said, is the northernmost southern state. Yeah, I can see that. Because certainly Ohio's not southern Pennsylvania, but Kentucky and Virginia? Yeah. Okay, northernmost southern. The westernmost eastern. So they're saying eastern, I guess New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland might be considered eastern. So they're furthest west, but they might consider themselves with that. The eastern most western, I would say most Midwest. I don't know if we can go as far as to call you Western, West Virginia. I would consider the West only up to, what do you guys think? Does Illinois, I think Illinois would consider, well, they have the gateway to the West, right? Missouri. Sorry, why do I keep thinking St. Louis is in Illinois? I guess it's right here, kind of on the border. I keep thinking that. That's the gateway to the West. So you'd have to assume the West is right in here, right? So I might put in, at least in, I don't know. Anyway, I would say you're the easternmost Midwestern state. So fair. Okay. Did we hit them all? Oh, and then they said what, the northern. No. I thought somewhere here this person said the southernmost northern state. The northernmost southern state. Oh yeah, the southernmost northern. That I agree with. I mean, Kentucky might argue there somewhat. No, I think Kentucky would rather. Yeah. Anyway, the point being, they're hard to define, aren't they? So anyway, I just thought we could talk a bit about West Virginia today. But I don't want to get into a lot of historical facts and stuff. One, because I didn't have time to study it. And two, I kind of don't like it when people sometimes will be from other places and try to tell the story of a place that they really don't know anything about the history. And that's kind of how I feel. That, all I can tell you is my experience with West Virginia. So I thought I might do that. I can tell you that I can see on this map here, the capital is Charleston. I looked up that it was in 1861, during the Civil War. West Virginia, before that, West Virginia was part of the British colony. No, that can't be right, because that would have been revolutionary. But anyway, it was part of Virginia. Why did I think I read British? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to try to give a history lesson. But then they split during that time. So then they weren't part of that anymore. And and during the Civil War, this is kind of interesting. During the Civil War, I think that's part of why they split away from Virginia. And then the West Virginia joined with the Union side. So West Virginia became a Union state. I really don't know the Civil War history. I have to be honest. That's something I could work on. Okay. So like I said, I'm not going to try to get into all of that because there's a lot. But I can tell you about my experience. My son the other day came home with this. He works, he's a biologist and he's all over the place. And he went to West Virginia and he got this map and brought it home. And I was like, whoa, I was thinking about doing a video on West Virginia. And he said, you may have the map. So I think this is like probably something they hand out at the tourist, at the Welcome Center. But it's kind of neat. It shows all the different regions within Ohio. And they show this part as the northern panhandle, because you can see it looks like a panhandle. So that's the northern panhandle. This area they call mountaineer country. This part that's almost over in Maryland. Here's Maryland sneaking in right here, this white. This is called, they call that the Eastern Panhandle. And that's where Harper's Ferry is. Appalachian National Scenic Trail. Yeah, okay. And then this is the Potomac Highlands. Yep. And then here, what is this called? Oh, they call this Mountain Lakes. That sounds beautiful. I'm going to go there. Okay, and then this blue says New River Greenbrier Valley. And the brown says Hatfield McCoy Mountains. And then the green is Metro Valley. And the blue here says Mid-Ohio Valley. So all these parts in one state. That's pretty cool. And they have pictures down here. Hold on. That kind of give you, they show golfing in the Eastern Panhandle. Mountaineer Country has an overlook at Cooper's Rock State Forest. Oh, I've been there. Huh. Yeah, I've been there. Potomac Highlands, Canaan Valley, Canaan Valley. See, where I come from, we probably say Canaan, but I feel like we had a family reunion there, and people in my family were calling it Canaan. So I don't really know how you say it. It's biblical, isn't it? Mountain Lakes, Summersville Lake, New River, Greenbrier Valley. They show New River whitewater rafting. In the Hatfield and McCoy Mountains, they show, what do you call those, like ATVs, like off-roading trails. And then Metro Valley has the state capital. Let's see if there's anything else on this map. I wish this map weren't quite so large. So, I have been to, well, I just told you I went to a family reunion in, how do you say it? I don't even want to try to say it. I'll say it wrong. Canaan Valley. That was fun. That was so many years ago. My son was a infant baby, and I didn't have my twins yet. And I remember all the guys went out golfing, and so I put my son in a backpack and went, like they have these backpacks you can carry a baby in. He was probably one. Maybe one. Anyway, and so I went out walking really early in the morning, and I went to this, just kind of walking on this trail, and I got to this, like, within the forest, there was a meadow, and it was real foggy, and, that, like, early morning dew. And I just kind of stopped to, like, take in the silence of it. Sorry. And all of a sudden, this deer's head kind of popped up from the long grass that was there. And I was like, oh my gosh, look, there's a deer. And then all these other little deer heads started kind of popping up. I think there were 5 of them. And I was like, oh my gosh. And there was something, I see deer where I live all the time, but there was something about that just seemed like so magical, because it was like in the misty fog and the sun's coming out, and it was sort of, it was cool. Anyway, so I should have brought my glasses. This is too small, this map. I don't know if I'll be able to point out where things are, but I have some pictures. Sorry, guys. I dropped something. Okay, so we went to a park called Lost River. And I'd show you where it is on the map, but I can't hardly see this map. But we stayed at this cabin. And I think these cabins were built during, boy, I should look this up, but I think it was Roosevelt during the Depression. He put together the, I can't think of the name of it, for goodness sakes, the civil, anyway, he gave people jobs working on building cabins and things and roads at national parks. And so that's, I think, when this was built. And it was nice. My, some of my sister's family and some of my family, we stayed there, and it had a bedroom down here and then a bed up here, and then up above here they had just filled it full of beds, so you could sleep a ton of people. And there was a kitchen and a dining room, living room. But most of the time you wanted to spend out here sitting around the fire. So one night we're sitting out by the fire and we have all of our, we were going to make s'mores. So we had marshmallows and graham crackers and chocolate bars all on the table. And we're kind of over here around the fire. And we start hearing a really like loud noise. And we thought it was my sister's husband, like pretending to be a bear because it was pitch black. You know, once you're around a fire and your eyes adjust, you can't really see out beyond. And so we're like, what are you doing? And then I look and I'm like, no, that's a bear. And so we look over and we all start seeing this is a bear. So we go running inside and stupidly did not run to grab the stuff. So this bear, and I felt bad because I don't like wild animals eating human food, but I wasn't going to mess with that guy. He came up and he sat on our table and he was eating all of our chocolate bars. So on that particular night, I was glad we had a cabin and weren't sleeping in a tent because I know this is just a black bear and generally pretty harmless, especially since he's eating pretty good. But, you know, you don't feel quite as safe when you feel like a bear might eat you up. So anyway, that was at a place called Lost River. And we had a good time. We hiked and just hung out. It was fun. Okay, let me look. And then another weekend. This place isn't, I don't know. I don't know how. I met up with my, we just did like couples, like my husband and I and my sister and her husband. And we went to a place called Berkeley Springs in West Virginia. And they have a spring where you can fill your water bottles and drink it, but they also have hot springs that they had this, and they showed this one. George Washington apparently would, it was called George Washington's bathtub, and he'd sit in there. And then they have these like hot pool or, you know, hot springs. You go inside, and it was the middle of winter when we were there, and I think you paid like, I don't know, $12, and you could go in the mineral hot spring. I crossed off so you can't see the people because but anyway, so that was sort of fun. And then another time, the reason I'm telling you all these stories is because I think why I feel bad about West Virginia is it's such a beautiful place to go. And I feel like whenever I bring up West Virginia, people bring up, you know, one of two things. They might bring up that documentary type TV show that the guys who produced Jackass did called what was it called? The Wild Whites of West Virginia, what's it called? Did you ever see that show? Those people were pretty cuckoo, and that's not typical, you know, of anywhere. Or they start talking about either doing the banjo from, or the fiddle, anyway, from Deliverance, or say like a line from Deliverance. And I have one thing to say about that. Deliverance was actually set in Georgia, but I think most people think it's West Virginia because they are on a river, but it's really Georgia. So yeah, so when I realized I forgot it, I felt pretty bad, and I wanted to, you know, correct it. Hold on, I dropped my pen. I lost my, I don't want to accidentally use the Sharpie. I need to, like, mark my pen somehow so I don't accidentally use the wrong one. Let's see. Oh, maybe we can try red. No, that's not going to work. Let's try blue. Sorry if that's too loud. Gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, so we went backpacking, I think it was right here. And I brought it up during the moon video I did with Phases of the Moon because we could see the stars. But it was in a area called Dolly Sods. I can't remember if that's a state park or a national park, but either way, it's awesome. And I got some pictures. Okay. So here's like the beginning of the trail. Not the beginning, but at the start, we kind of were walking. It seems, flat and nice. And it is nice. I'm not saying it's not nice. But then it starts to get a little rocky. And this was actually me climbing up to the, I took my backpack off. We left our backpacks down because you do like a 3-day loop. And so you hike down and there's this climb where you climb to the top here. And it's so beautiful. And you see what's called Lion's Head. And you can see it. See how it looks like a lion? Like there's his eye and his nose and his mouth. So we left our packs at the bottom of that. And then I think it's, I don't know, maybe a mile. We hiked up and then hiked back down and got our packs. And because it's kind of strenuous. And so that night, we ended up crossing a river. And you have to actually, what do they call it? Ford the river. You have to walk through the water. But luckily, it was pretty low. And we got this campsite that was so nice because we happened to be there on like a Wednesday night, kind of late in the season, I think. So nobody else was there at all. It was just us. And somebody at some point had built up this site with these like rock lounge chairs and a big rock fire pit. And they had left firewood, which was great because we didn't have an axe with us. So, and it got real cold that night. So we were able to build a fire and camped right there. And in this picture, one of my sons is taking an ice bath. So let's see. There's just another view of that site. It was so pretty. We loved it. But then in the middle of the night, not in the middle of the night, but after dark, we're sitting around our fire and kind of letting it go out because we're going to go to bed. And we start hearing this noise, so we shine our flashlight and it's this guy. And his eyes are glowing. But at first, we're like, what is it, Well, then I'm like, oh, it's a deer. So we thought nothing of it. But there was something weird about this deer. He kept coming at us, like running towards us. And then it got so weird, my son threw some rocks towards him and he took off. And then he came around from the other side and started coming towards us. I've never been freaked out by a deer until this dude. And then my son made some comment about how deer can get zombie deer disease. And we can't Google anything. We're out in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, oh my gosh, what if he's going to kill us? You can freak yourself out when you're in a tent by yourself. Well, we were together, but, out in the boonies and it's pitch black, you can kind of freak yourself out. And we definitely did. But we fell asleep. It was fine. We lived to see another day. And then here, like my son jumping across the rocks to go to the other side, we did see another couple right about this spot. And this water maybe would get, I don't know, maybe up to 2 feet if you were out a little bit. And so this couple came across and she was trying to kind of jump rock to rock, which I didn't do. I actually took my boots off and walked straight across. But she slipped and fell, and she fell like towards her backpack. So her backpack went straight in the water. I felt so bad for her. I was like, oh, here I am. Stomping my way through. But you can see it gets like pretty, So she like fell. I think she was going here to here, and she fell. And I was like, are you okay? I felt so bad. All right. So that's Dolly Sods. I would say, sorry, if you're into backpacking and hiking, it's a great place to go. There are a bunch of different, you can do an upper loop that's more flat, I think, or you can kind of hike down into it. And that is hard. I mean, I'm 53 years old, so I was probably 51 when I did it. And I'm not in tremendous shape, but I'm in pretty good shape, and I'm not a quitter. I mean, I kept up with my kids who were in very good shape, but it was hard. And by the end, I was pretty tired, and my knees were hurting because it's a lot of up and down rocky hills. But it was worth it, every bit of it. Like, I would do it again for sure. So that was fun. Gosh, you guys, I got a frog in my throat. Ribbit. Hold on, let me take a little sip. I don't know why. My boys went to New River Gorge to go whitewater rafting. I gotta take another sip of water. Sorry. Hold on. I need one of those cough buttons that you can mute it while you clear your throat. Maybe I'll re-record this. I don't know if I'll have time though. They went down to New River Gorge and went whitewater rafting with their buddies, and they had a great time. But like I said, they're in pretty good like shape. Like they, run and work out and everything. And they said it was a class 4 that they did. So not the class, they have class 5 there. But they said they felt fine about it and didn't feel nervous. But that was because their whole boat was taken up with, young 20-year-old guys who all were in good shape. And they felt like they could maneuver it with. But they said it's not anything to mess around with. That they saw boats who were getting stuck and they were like, ooh, don't look good. And I remember one time we were out in, I think it was while we were in Montana. I'm trying to think, or was it Wyoming? I think it was Montana. That was some bad drawing. I think some people might not like how. We went whitewater rafting, and I have to admit they were pretty small rapids, the one we were on. But the guy who was the guide on that, he was talking to us about West Virginia. And he said, I've always wanted to do the Gauley River. He said, that's the hardest rapid in the United States, the Gauley River. And I didn't know that. And I am assuming that was true based on that one guy telling me. So if you want really hard whitewater rafting, I think you can look into the upper Gauley River. But in West Virginia, you can hike. Oh, mountain biking. They have great mountain biking, whitewater rafting. Rock climbing. When I was young, I wanted to be a rock climber. I loved, what do you call that? I want to use the word scrappling, but that's not it. Scrambling in the rocks. My mom would have a panic every time we did it. But as an adult, I've never really done it, and maybe that's something I should do. I read that they have skiing in West Virginia. I'm sure they do. I'm not familiar with that. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what else to say about that. I do want to say one other thing about that States video I did. Apparently, one thing I learned is the name of the state, oh no, please, Lord, don't let me spell this wrong. Arkin. Okay, the way I spelled it This is some sloppy writing right here. Was Arkansas. Now, a person in the comments said it's Kansas with an A-R in front of it. And I was like, okay, I will never forget that now. But I just wanted to say to the state of Arkansas and everybody who told me that I spelled it wrong, you guys have to admit, Arkansas, Kansas, right? So this would be Arkansas, right? Arkansas, Kansas, Arkansas. How is it not spelled like this? I would like to make a proclamation to change the spelling to W because it makes more sense. I'm just kidding. It's fine. I got it, guys. Arkansas. Okay. Here it is right here. Arkansas. Okay. I forgot what other state I spelled wrong. I think there was another one. I had to look up Massachusetts, so that doesn't count. I almost spelled Colorado wrong, I think, because I was trying to add an A. But I got it in the end, you guys. I got it. Oh, for goodness sakes. Anyway, I think I don't have anything else to say. Oh, wait, I know. I did. Hold on. I do have something else to say. I'm getting sidetracked in my drawings. Okay, I just want to read. There was one more comment. Oh, here are a couple more pictures of our. This is all in the Dolly Sods backpacking, and they have all these. I think they're rhododendron or azaleas. Probably rhododendron. But if you go there in the spring, apparently these will all be in bloom, and you're walking through like a tunnel of pink blooms. I bet that'd be really pretty. And then there's the fire we were able to build because somebody left, which is so nice because when it gets dark at like, I don't remember when we were there, but like 7, basically if you don't have a fire, you're sitting in the dark, you know? So it's kind of really nice to be able to build a big fire. All right, this comment. I cut off his name, but I think his name's John. It says native West Virginian here. West Virginia is a bit of a geographical no man's land. I can't speak specifically in terms of the way you have things subdivided, but many in this state consider West Virginia the South. I'm not one of them. I don't think it makes sense culturally or geographically. I've never considered us an Atlantic state either because we have no coast. Yeah, that's kind of what I said when I was trying to figure it out. I was like, well, they don't have a coast. I'm biased because I was born in the Ohio River Valley region. So he was probably born, I don't know where that is exactly, but over here somewhere because here's Ohio. But around there, it's pretty Midwesty, yeah, I imagine. And I just as well prefer to be lumped in there. But yeah, West Virginia kind of has its own special identity on the map. Yeah, I feel that's true. Even within all the people who commented on West Virginia, they were saying different things. Like some of them, I think there was one person who said we're South. Some people said you can't define it. I can't remember what else, but yeah, I think even within their own state, they don't. They're just like individuals, man. Every one of them, individuals. Anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. Let's take a look in here and see if we can find the state. Hopefully that's not too loud. Shh. Be quiet. The state of West Virginia. West Virginia. Oh, well, that was easy. I was going to dig through, but as it happens, I see it right there. Look, speaking of those other states, Delaware and Maryland are right by it. So it's bordered by... West Virginia has a lot of states around it when you think about it. It has Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, Kentucky. That's it, right? Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states border it. I wonder if that's the most any state is bordered by an. Let's see. Nebraska has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, Nebraska has 6. Does any state have more than 6? Let's see. Idaho. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe 6 is the most. What does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. All right, let's. If you're interested in, I put together this puzzle. I think I've put it together 2 or 3 times now. I can't remember. I like doing it. I don't know. I think it's interesting. But this is what I was looking for. There's West Virginia. But look, they left Maryland in it. This puzzle's like, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I guess it fits there. Yeah, I have one video where I do the puzzle just silently, and then one where I discuss it and make a big Alaska error that I made up for later. But West Virginia is a cool state. Go there if you're into outdoorsy activities. I didn't speak to anything not outdoorsy, only because I don't know that. I think everything I've ever done there, I'm a person who likes to be outside. I hike a lot. I backpack when I can. I canoe if I can. I don't know, sitting around by a campfire is like one of my favorite activities. I love the sound. I just love it. So yeah, I don't know about anything like else to do in West Virginia, but hopefully in the comments people will forgive me for forgetting it before. And if I got any facts wrong today, and I know I didn't talk about a lot of important things about it, the fact that, Civil War stuff, I didn't want to be the one to mess that up. So all I'm saying is go there and check it out. All right, guys. I don't know. This video is a strange one. I know. I don't know.